Shortly after George Floyd died, Memorial Day weekend 2020, people began to say that what was happening in the United States bore some resemblance to what happened in China 50 years ago, the Cultural Revolution, with red guards and struggle sessions, public humiliations, public atonements, a kind of secular frenzy that looked very much like a hate-centered religious rite. The Cultural Revolution. Shortly after George Floyd died, Memorial Day weekend 2020, people began to say that what was happening in the United States bore some resemblance to what happened in China 50 years ago, the Cultural Revolution, with red guards and struggle sessions, public humiliations, public atonements, a kind of secular frenzy that looked very much like a hate-centered religious rite. The Cultural Revolution. But was that overstatement? Well, Xi Van Fleet has seen both. She's Chinese. She was 7 years old in 1966 when the Cultural Revolution started, and 17 when it ended with Mao's death in 1976. And along the way, she became one of its victims. So she has seen both revolutions firsthand, and she's written a new book comparing them with a warning. It's called Maos America. And we're grateful to have her, Xi Van Fleet, in the studio with us now. You were 7 years old when the Cultural Revolution started, the equivalent of first grade. What was the moment that you realized something strange and important was happening in China?
Yes, to me, my memory is it happened overnight. And overnight, I just noticed there's a lot of what's called big character posters everywhere. It's just big pieces of paper and with words written in very large letters so everyone can read it from distance, kind of like today's social media.
Crude propaganda.
Yes, it's really, the posters is really of people denouncing others. In my school, I remember the papers were denouncing administrators or teachers. And it's overnight, and it's just everywhere and in the cafeteria, because that's the only place that has a high wall that's indoor. And it's just from a ceiling, from the floor to the ceiling, and it's class stopped. And so one day I went to the classroom and I saw a note on the blackboard. No class for 3 days. And that 3 days lasted for 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, no school. Because the school was, like all the other institutions, was shut down by the Red Guards. And the Red Guards, and I think nowadays more and more Americans are familiar with that. And Red Guards were the kids from elementary school to universities. So they took over the country. So there's no school for 2 years. So what did we do as a kid? We went to the street. So every day we went to the street, we watched the Cultural Revolution unfolding. And that is struggle sessions, parade of those people who were denounced and eventually become violence.
So it was young people aiming their rage at the behest and the direction of the central government of Mao against not foreigners who threatened China, but against Chinese, against your own people.
Yes. And it is difficult even for me to understand. And it took me a long time to understand what that Cultural Revolution was about. It is a revolution that Mao launched against CCP, against his own party, against his own government. Why? Because he thought he was losing influence. He thought he was no longer had absolute power. So it's really a power struggle. And this time, he did not use the armies. He did not have to. He had tens of millions of young people that he had indoctrinated in the government school for the past 17 years. They're ready to go. Just give them a call, say, you are now mobilized to defend Mao and to defend communism. And that's what how they got the kids all involved. And very familiar to Americans now. They dismantled the criminal justice system. No police.
Really?
Just like a defunct police. So the Red Guards could do anything. There are no consequences. And eventually, they start to kill their teachers, kill their principals, and they kill millions of people.
The normal people who are watching this, your family, I assume, did anybody say anything about it?
Nobody can say anything, just like here. Why? Because Mao openly supported them. And Mao had